Good morning, Matty. Welcome back. How are you? How's the weekend?
Good weekend, mate, and had a great weekend. We had, I was saying before, we had the 10-year anniversary of the Wanderers AFC win, if you like, the Champions League back against Al Hilal back in the day. So it was
Yeah.
good to get back together with all the boys, the coaches, and everybody. For a lot of those people, it's probably been 10 years since some of us have run into each other.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
really good to catch up with the boys, have a chat, see what they're up to, talk about what they're doing now, their careers, and so forth. So yeah, good weekend, mate.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. And yeah, I've seen it was a 7-goal thriller in the wrong direction, but at least there was a lot of goals for everyone to watch.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Unlucky. Look, I think over time that they'll settle in. They'll be a good team. They've got a good gaffer there, so I think
Mm.
they just stick at it. I think we'll be fine.
Yeah. And in other news we've got to mention, you might have saw that Kevin Muscat and John Ross Aloisi and the boys won the Chinese Super League over the weekend as well.
It was brilliant. That game was actually, I think it was played on the Saturday night
Yeah.
while we were at the game. So a lot of us were sort of looking at it and wishing him, well.
Mm.
And to take it out again, it's brilliant. Well done to him. It's a great result.
Yeah. Amazing. I know it's been now saying, A-League champion, J-League champion, and now Chinese Super League. So
Yeah,
big
not
things
bad.
coming his way, I reckon, over the next couple of years.
Well, you think about it. I mean, people say it's a meteoric rise to fame, but you look at the work that goes into that, and you can clearly coach when you take 3 leagues like that across Asia and win it at the highest level.
Yeah. That won't be long till he's
No, it won't be long.
potentially on the move. You wouldn't think, or at least fending off offers somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's right, mate. I think he'll be certainly sought after, and imagine if we had another gaffer in the EPL or one of those major leagues again. Incredible.
Yeah, I know.
Who would have thought it?
Well, big week ahead, as we were sort of alluding to earlier. We've got we've got the RBA meeting tomorrow, but Melbourne Cup Day, not much expected to happen. There's still no real plans, I don't think, or expectation of rate cuts until early next year here in Australia. The Aussie's still down, but that's more so off the back of the US dollar being up and what they're calling, the Trump trade. Everyone's getting behind it at the moment as he sort of goes into favoritism, and for the US, it's sort of buoyed from that underneath. And a big swell of support has seen the US shoot up over the last 3, 4, 5 weeks now.
Yeah. It's going that election on Wednesday is going to be interesting. I think you're right. I think the market's factored a lot of that in already. Whichever way it goes. So I don't perceive we're going to see significant swings either way off the back of the result, but it will certainly set the tone for what happens going forward over the next 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, definitely. There's potential of higher interest rates, dollar being strong, November rate cuts. Who knows what they're going to do there, and if he comes in, or same thing if he's in favour at the moment, and the sort of market's pushing rates that way, and then he doesn't win, then potentially you could see 1 or 2 days of real volatility. And so it's just probably more of a guidance around that is stay out of it in a way. Like if you've got any transfers to do, get them done today or leave them till next week and see what happens.
Yeah, just let it settle.
Yeah, it'll be a crazy Wednesday potentially. So you got that. The Fed meeting, the next Fed meeting. So after the election is also that's on the 7th. The next Fed meeting in regards to their interest rates. And then interest rates just in general. So upcoming, we've got Europe, Canada, New Zealand, the UK. They've all got their interest rates decisions coming up in November. Canada's been cutting. Europe have cut, and there's potential that they might cut again. The pound or the UK are the same, and New Zealand cut last time as well. So a lot of interest rate cuts going everywhere, which, looking at a few different rates and a few different currencies. The pound, as we've spoken about a lot, that's had a big run up. It's fallen off just a little bit in the past few days, but whether the UK, Bank of England cuts rates and whether that cools off the pound itself against the Aussie or against the US, we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks.
Definitely.
So with that, you've got, from a client point of view, is holding any of these currencies at the moment, and pretty much any. There's so much going on that there's an effect, or at least a knock-on effect, I think, across the board. The US is obviously the big one, but that kind of a knock-on effect to several currencies. And then most of the guys we look after are either Japanese yen, pound, euro, US, and that's the ones that have a lot of either political instability at the moment or interest rate decisions and elections coming up. Japan's the next one that we've got their election coming up this month as well.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So again, it's that ability for the clients just to get on the phone, have a chat, and as we've done, over the weekends, just having those conversations with them, just trying to, make them feel comfortable and be calm around the decisions that they're looking to make to move their funds back or not, subject to what their needs are right now.
Yeah, that's right. And I think we've got a post coming out a little bit later today, but just highlighting a couple of those key things coming up. But at the end of it, I've just put on there, speak to your FX partner, whoever that may be, and make sure they're looking at these things on your behalf, and even looking at a couple of risk management options. If you are a bit more risk adverse, it's potentially doing it now or looking at a forward contract even to just lock yourself out of all this volatility is book something in today or tomorrow for the next couple of months. If you like rolling the dice, which some people do, is potentially looking at limit or stop orders, where if we do see spikes in rates, you can take advantage of it, but protecting yourself if it goes against you as well. So you've got your limit order, which can take advantage of rates going up, and a stop loss order, which can protect you if rates spike down the way. If they're not sort of talking about that with you in regards to your own situation and what's coming up, our advice would be speak to someone who will. We definitely will. So, so feel free to reach out and have a chat to us around it.
I think that's the critical piece, mate. It's not, excuse me, it's more from our perspective, the proactivity that we bring to the table to actually get on the phone and have those phone calls, or at least send them a text and just say, hey, be aware of, jump on the phone, we'll have a conversation, because everyone's situation is different, as we often say. So it's having that ability, one-on-one touch with your clients, and you hope the other brokers are doing exactly that, right? Providing the right advice, or just general directional advice about what they should and shouldn't do.
Well, that's it. If you not just for athletes, businesses, athletes, whoever it may be, they've got enough things to worry about, or they've got their area of expertise they're focusing on, whether it's running a business or playing football or golf or tennis. Let your financial people look after that side of it, and just to make you aware of it. As I said, it's not telling people what to do. It's just saying be aware that this is what's coming up in the next couple of days or couple of weeks. Rates will see a lot of fluctuations. If you want to take risk off the table, this is how to do it. If you want to roll the dice, this is how to do it. It's up to you.
Exactly. And as we're talking about before, a lot of clients prospective clients that we talk to know that they've got to move their money. They know it's part of their business, but they've got so many other things going on that it just falls to the floor. Yeah. But as we've said, that's where we come in. That's our uniqueness, that we can handle that for you. We can work with your financial people or whoever within inside your business to ensure that you're calm about it, you understand it, and you're getting the best possible deal.
Yeah. No, 100%. And that's what, as we say, it's what we're all about. And touching on that, one of the areas we were just talking about is sports tour groups, which I find very interesting, because we've brought a few on board now. So as a sports tour company, and what I mean by that is, an Australian-based business, they set up a tour for you, and that could be, we've got a couple that are going to the British Open Golf. We've got some that have gone to a golf trip in Singapore, some that have gone to America to do stadium tours, and others that go to the UK and obviously, watch the Premier League. They're the biggest ones we come across, so going to different games. So what we sort of find within that is, obviously, the Australian-based business here is collecting in, so just say it's 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 Aussie dollars, all inclusive for your trip. They might be bringing in 10 to 20 people, but a portion of that has to then go to the providers in the UK or the US or Singapore to pay for the local part of the trip. So what we've found is two different ways of sort of looking at this. One is these tours are normally booked potentially 12 months in advance. And as we know, rates can fluctuate a lot within 12 months. So if you're booking a deposit today to start that process, but your final payment isn't due for 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, those rates and those figures are going to look very different. So we're sort of reaching out now to a lot of sports tour companies, given the success we've had with a couple recently. So if anyone that is watching this is in that industry, or you know people that in that industry, let them know to have a chat to someone around. How do you forward plan for your tours with large sums of funds? And also, how do you then manage that deposit so that you're not going either back to yourself and dipping into your profits if rates go against you, or you're asking people for more money, towards the end of the booking period.
No, spot on. And again, that's from our perspective too. It's part of the sports industry. It's the wider sports industry. There's so many areas that where rates are a critical part of the operation of that business. And anything, as you say, any tour that's transacting overseas is where we come into the mix. There's no doubt. And as you said, the success we've had to date in talking to those tour companies, because first question is why, and then once they understand it and they realise it, we've had great success in that space already.
Yeah. Firstly, it's like most people, it's rates. It's a better rate in the bank. But then secondly, that the rates over time become sort of not irrelevant, but they're just part of the whole process, because you've actually put a structure or a plan in place to just help manage your risk and know what your costs are. The rates are going to do what they're going to do, but just putting some sort of plan, process, structure, and support in place for you to know that that's taken care of. And for the next 12 months, it doesn't matter to you what exchange rates do, because you've fixed your costs and you've fixed your risk and you've fixed your profits. So from a business point of view, it can let you just move on other things.
Like every business, mate, at the end of the day, to your point, you're just managing risk, and currency conversion, currency management is one of those risks. So if you can mitigate that risk to the best possible way and put more money in your back pocket even as a tour operator, or back to your client base on that tour, then that's good, just generally good business.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I'd imagine now that people are starting to, we're probably 18 months out, but the 2026 World Cup will be, the next big one that people are probably looking at. Obviously in the US, Canada, and Mexico, so you've potentially got 3 currencies there that you have to think about as a tour operator. And how do you manage that? And as I said, planning stuff now and taking deposits now potentially from people and paying deposits over there to get things locked in is what can happen in the next 18 months. Could be a 10, 20, 30% swing. You just don't know. And that'll have a massive effect on your business. So no, definitely something worth looking at. And as we say, if you're in that industry or know someone in that industry, it's an area we think that we can really help and add value. Feel free to put them in touch with us.
100%. Definitely.
Fantastic, mate. Well, we've got a lot coming up. We will get cracking. We've got a heap of meetings on today with different sports, which is fantastic. And we'll crack on. So anyone that needs anything, as always, feel free to reach out to us, and we'd be happy to help.
I'll let you know how I go on my tennis game tomorrow, mate. As I said, ambition and ability aren't quite on par, but we'll have a go.
That's it. Good luck.
Thanks, mate.
See ya.
See ya.